Welcome to World Briefing Weekend on this Sunday, coming to you from Palermo in Sicily in Italy. Well, what a head-spinning week. I just got off BBC World Television and talking about pretty much the biggest story of the week, and that is we're into day 5-6 now of Ukraine's incursion deep into Russian territory, into the Kursk region. As of yesterday evening, when I checked how much territory had been seized by the Ukrainians, which, by the way, is being called by the BBC as the biggest invasion or incursion into Russia since the end of the Second World War, the Ukrainians controlled, as of last night, about an area about the size of El Paso, Texas, which is a pretty big city. They've also seized a very strategic gas hub owned by Gazprom, the state company that sends gas to Western Europe. And as I told the BBC, the Ukrainians have not blown it up. They haven't immobilized it. They keep the gas flowing because they know their international contracts to be honored. We don't know. Nobody knows how far this will go, how long the Ukrainians will be able to hold on to the territory. But what we do know are a couple of things. Is number one, Russia is very, very slow to respond. One big reason is that so much of its manpower and equipment has been deployed to the front with Ukraine. But secondly, I think this also points to something we've been talking about for many, many years, is the gradual hollowing out of the Russian Defense Ministry through corruption. That's a big reason why Shoigu, the former defense minister, was turfed or sacked by Putin. And Russia continues to arrest officials from the defense ministry. The other thing that's curious is that there's no obvious signs of insurgency on behalf of the Russians who have been caught up in this. Numbers are growing to 100,000. We're not seeing images of ordinary Russians attacking Ukrainian soldiers or tanks or anything like that. And then in video footage that has yet to be verified, you see Russians complaining about not only the time it's taken to evacuate them, but also this happening in the very first place. But the Ukrainians, I told the BBC, must have had Western intelligence in order to be this. They very, very much leveraged the surprise element, but also they spotted a vulnerability and went for it. The deeper they go, the longer they stay there. These and the supply lines get longer. They're going to have to, continue feeding the men. They're going to have to maintain these vehicles. But it's being greeted overall with cautious optimism in Ukraine, according to friends I've spoken with. They're as surprised as anybody else. So that's something. This story will certainly stay burning, so to speak, in the next days. And you can join me at the following times on BBC again on Monday evening on a show called The Context. The times are being displayed right now. Otherwise, we opened up the week with another head-spinning event, Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina, the corrupt prime minister who is really despised by a lot of her population, was ousted. She fled to India after days of violence, and I think the final death toll after the protests was 300 or so plus. The military took power as an interim measure, but now they have allowed back in Muhammad Yunus, who is very widely known as the banker to the poor for establishing the Grameen Bank, but also a Nobel Prize winner as well. He's very well respected internationally, but he did have to go into exile because Sheikh Hasina's government threatened to arrest him for alleged corruption. As I've noted also earlier in the week, what will be crucial is for the new government to make clear their plans for the 1 million or so Rohingya refugees who are seeking shelter in Bangladesh. Chittagong, places like that, they have been there for quite some time. It's obviously a huge burden, but because of the dangers of them going back to Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, it's hoped that Bangladesh will continue to, keep the welcome mat out for them. Finally, the Olympics. Depending on how you look at the medal chart, the U.S. is number one or China, but here are the final medal tallies as of today, the last day of the Olympics in Paris. Finally, I'm going to leave you with more images of Palermo here in Sicily and Italy. My first time here. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful stay here. Someone described it as a kind of mini Istanbul. And I think what my friend who is a correspondent based in Rome means by that is there is a surprise around every corner. Sights and sounds and smells are absolutely amazing. People are friendly, great value for money. The food is delicious, so is the wine. Really a lot going for it, and I'm almost reluctant to say this because I don't want the place to become overwhelmed, but it is not like many other places in Europe overrun with tourists. It is hot, but it's a kind of dry heat, and wide open spaces. It has a little bit of a Cape Town vibe, as you can see, with the mountains meeting the sea, but wide open spaces. Really, really wonderful. So I know I'm going to stay a bit longer, or I'm going to be coming back here to discover more of Sicily, but very, very happy to share my experience with you. That's about it. Let me know your feedback to these videos, but as much as possible, 5 days a week, kind of my mini daily briefings on video, and then on the weekends I'll do kind of a wrap up with more analysis and some lighter stuff too. That's it for me, signing off on this Sunday. Have a great week ahead.